Hey, how are you? So, I'm really glad to have you all here today. I see some comments. I don't know why, but a StreamYard just kicked me out from the stream minutes ago, so I had to restart everything. Sorry for the delay. Um, Hi, Skitty24. So nice to have you here again. Mana Codes, I remember you also from the previous streams, and thanks for joining me again. This is the last series of the streams I've been running about open source. And in this stream, we will focus about exploring all those beautiful projects, big projects, to be honest, and incredible, incredible tools, community driven, and everything we have talked about the open source at all, right? So in Thursday, I think it was, Thursday session, we explore on how contribute to open source, being not technically expert, like with code, no, sorry, with design, with readmes, with documentation, with translation, everything that does not require or involve code, right? Then on Wednesday, we explored how to contribute, like the how, like what's the workflow about that. Um, and today, we are going to explore these projects that you may already know because some of them are really, really popular. But the idea of this is that you realize how big they are and that they are open source. And also some big projects that you may don't know, right? The very these projects that I'm referring to are the ones that you don't know, but they are very commonly used, um, well maintained, like very popular in the open source community, but not that so much popular with the rest of the mortals that we are, right? Uh, so yeah, I see some more comments here about uh, yeah, salutations. Oh yeah, I didn't know this about that. What's the without specs? I have a repo where I share Discord that tricks. It's not something technical or code related, but it's cool. Yeah, it's cool. So share it with us. Paste it here. Let us know what's the address of the URL. So again, same as the previous streams, I would like to know. I recognize some of the people here, but I would like to know from all of us. What's your experience with open source? Are you familiar with it? Have you done a contribution before? Are you hosting just like a Skitty public repo which we can contribute? Um, that's the idea. Let me know here in the comments while I'm share my screen. Let me prepare my slides to be shared. Same issue with PowerPoint. I usually don't make my slides here, but I just like this template. um, Give me a second. Hmm. Okay. Well, now you're supposed to see this. Please let me know if you see my slides here on the screen. Oh, and let me know if you can see me and you can hear me well. I have just in the last couple of days, I'm quite new. That's perfect. That's why we are doing all of this. It's why we're running this Hacktoberfest, right? Yeah, it's visible. We have some comments here about the repo we were talking about, github.com/hkitty slash Discord text exploit. Amazing. Go check it out. Give some love to this repo. Another repo, github.com/manacodes/script Primrose, check this out. Okay, I will check this out. That's amazing. Thanks. I remember that you offered to help people with his contributions. So, very thanks for being here, Manacodes. You're a great person. I have just in the last couple. Yeah, I already did this. Is that a GitHub Campus Expert match? Yeah, this is my GitHub Campus Expert T-shirt. I was running. Actually, I'm still in a campus. This is during an event in Oaxaca. This is the Tlaxiaco city in Oaxaca. So I'm running an event here, and I also running this session for you. Everything's smooth today. Amazing. I'm guessing because this is not my internet connection. This is the technological de Tlaxiaco internet's connection. So everything's working fine. I'm going to say kudos to that. I can see the slides. Yeah, thanks. Amazing. So we're good to start. And it's better for us to start now because we have planned the projects to see today. First of all, let me introduce myself. I don't tend to do this often, but I need to remember this is important because you don't know me. Well, most of you do not know me. My name is Alberto Camarena, and I work as a coach here from the Major League Hacking. What else about me? I am passionate about coffee and photography enthusiast. Also, I work as a front-end developer in a startup called Bigo. And as you see, I'm a GitHub Campus expert. So uh, that's it about me, right? We are going to explore projects that you didn't know that were open source during this session. And if you knew these projects and you knew they were open source, well, let us know some more projects that you do know, but maybe we don't know, right? Let us know on the comment section here. So, the agenda we'll be covering today will be divided in three parts mainly, right? The last one is just Q&A. The first ones are these projects that you will say, yes, of course, I know them. Um, well, maybe I didn't know it was open source, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I knew those projects. The second one will be like, hey, I've heard of them, but I'm not sure. I kind of didn't use them before, or yeah, just heard of them, right? And the last one, it will be like, whoa, I didn't know they were that existed, but yeah, that is great. That are great projects. And what about the open source? Yes. Um, well, I kind of hope that all of these projects you realize that they are open source and you can contribute to this section. Remember, we are trying to make these sessions open source by telling us more projects like this. This last section is kind of tricky because to be an open source project, it has to be maintained, right? So it is known. If you see my slide, you will see like it is well known, not so well known, and unknown. Again, the unknown section, it's kind of tricky because yes, it is known by the maintainers, by the community, etc. But I just want to clarify that I don't think those projects are bad projects. The opposite. I mean, I want to get more people to know them because they are not so much known as these first ones, as these well known, that as these very well known. What type of projects I'm talking of? Well, this is just a short list, but Python, the language, yeah, V8, yeah, the JavaScript runtime, OBS. How many of you have worked with OBS, MongoDB, Node, Swift language? So these projects are very huge. Did you know they were open source? Let me know here in the comments. Let me check. Um, that's an awesome T-shirt. Thanks. Hello, Iriteshima. Yes, okay, amazing. So, thanks for the compliment on the t-shirt, Gubrik. But yeah, take a look to these projects. Did you know Python were open source? Did you know B8 were open source? Did you know OBS were open source? Many of you do, right? You knew they were open source. I, for example, didn't know Swift was open source. Completely. I ignored that. Uh, but when I was preparing for this stream, I realized it was, and it's very cool. So let me sh- switch my screen, and I want to share now the uh, the GitHub page of every of these repositories. Let me present. Hmm, here it is. So we can see now. Well, I think confirm, please, in the comments. We have a comment here from Rubrik. The largest open source project is Linux. So many folks and iterations have been created from different use cases. I will agree on that. And I didn't include it. Uh, um, I don't know. I think it just escaped from my mind. But uh, I think when we think of open source, we think of Linux. So I wanted to try something that make you think that, oh, I didn't relate them. So I didn't relate it Python with open source, and I want to relate it now. Like if you as you think of Linux as open source, think of Python now as open source, and as you think now of MongoDB, think now of open source. Think the same from BX, think the same from Swift, think the same from every of these projects. So you see my screen. You see I have plenty of tabs open, and all from GitHub about these open source projects. So as I was telling you, this will be a large section about these projects. Well, Python, no explanations needed. I think it's very popular. It's the programming language, about short, simple, get it, right? Uh, it has the issues, the how to contribute, the documentation, etc. So Python is a particular case because you cannot go here and just type issues and make pull requests, etc. They have a different way of contributing. If we take a step back and go to the community, Python, we will see that they have a dev guide, and here on the dev guide, we can get the how to contribute, right? You see many maintainers, many sponsors. Python is built with CSS. This is interesting. It's loading. Give it some time. And if you want, you can come here. You can verify what you need to contribute to Python, and I encourage you to do it. Put a Python contribution in your portfolio of activities. Like you can share it. It will be amazing. And here we have the dev guide, python.org, where we can find more information about how to contribute, right? They say it. This guide is a comprehensive resource for contributing to Python for both new and experienced contributor. It is maintained by the same community that maintains Python, and we welcome you to this contribution. So if you're new, again, beginners friendly, even this project that it's very huge, that it's the Python language, it's beginner friendly, so take that in count before getting your reservations on if you're not experimented enough for contributing, right? Take that in mind. Our next project, B8. Phew. Here, public mirror from the Chromium Google Source.com, from Git. What information we can find about this? If you didn't know B8, it's because you don't know JavaScript. This is kind of tricky again, because you can ask me, hey, why Python is open source and why JavaScript isn't? Well, JavaScript can't be open source because technically it is not a language itself. It is how we interpret the ECMAScript definitions of the language. So what it is open source, it's V8, who is the engine that runs JavaScript. Did you get it? Again, it's kind of hard to understand, but think of this way. Python is a language. JavaScript, we can think of it as a language. In practical ways, it is language. But if you want to be very specific, it is not. It is how we interpretate the definition by ECMAScript. And ECMAScript does not make this open source. It is not open source. It is open. We as community, we can define and take the decisions on this and talk about what we want, what we don't want, etc. But it is not open source. But runtimes like the B8 engine, Spider Monkey, and all of the others that are in the world are, well, not all, many of the others that are in the world are open source. Uh, if you're not familiar with B8, well, I introduced it to you. B8, you're probably using it right now if you are seeing me on Chrome. Actually, I think this is now standard for every browser. I don't know. In the past, I'm a Firefox user. In the past, Firefox used Spider Monkey. Now I think they change formally to B8 because this is so good. Um, let let's make a quick pause to see the comments. I have a repo for Hacktoberfest. It is also for beginners who are new to open source. Okay, we love to see these repos because uh, many people that watches us wants to contribute to a project but don't have experience or the, I don't know how to say it. It is not experience, but they think they cannot. And having these repos tagged as beginner friendly or calm to make your first contribution helps a lot. So thanks a lot for sharing this. So that was B8. Let's continue. OBS. Remember we were talking about the OBS project. If you didn't know this, I wanted to include it here because you can be thinking of, okay, open source is just software. It is just for developers. Um, what's it about? What's about open source for me? I'm a video producer or someone who don't like to get too much in depth about the technical issues, but likes to share his screen in Twitch or some things like that, right? So OBS, it's our open broadcaster software. That's the name of it. So it is in the initials like OBS, or Open Broadcaster Software. If you haven't realized what that means. Um, so here's the repository. You will see it's mainly built on C. But for example, they have a long analyzer mainly built on Python. The dApps thing, it's built with Shell. We can take a look at all of this, and this is very good and very informative because we can contribute, but also we can learn from these projects. If you're working on some kind of similar project, I won't say it necessarily has to be the same, but let's think of you search for an issue that's happening to you, to your personal repo, or to another um, open source project that has a similar thing. You can see how that issue was resolved, what they do to patch that bug. I don't know, these kind of things that it's give us transparency. So you can come and learn, not only contribute. I recommend you to contribute, but also lots of learning, right? MongoDB. MongoDB is in this list because I think it's very popular. I think a lot of people love this project. You will see it's mainly built with C. I don't know why here on the top languages it says more like Go, Python, JavaScript, but mainly the core it's built with C. Uh, for what I know, right? I don't want to lie to you, but yeah, you can come here. You can take a look, see all the people who's contributing to Mongo, and well, I think that's it. If you don't know Mongo, it's a database. Well, how to explain it? Let's see if they have a better way to explain it themselves. No, just the DB database. Okay, I think it's very clear. Let me know on the comments if you don't get it. Let's go to the next one. Node, nodes, node. It's node. Node. It's the revolution of what I think that make JavaScript popular. Because yeah, we take a look to B8 at the other JavaScript runtime, but B8, well, B8 it's an engine, sorry. Well, Node come to say, hey, you can not only run JavaScript in the browser, you can run it in your computers. You can download Node. I am the engine, the runtime for that. So you can make projects just like in Python. You don't need browser, you don't need internet at all. You don't need to focus on web because that's another thing. We tend to believe JavaScript is web. Well, JavaScript is more than that. And Node, it's the proof of it. Um, I'm getting curious if you don't know the history of Node, you will know what I'm talking about. But for those one who know, the creator of Node built another runtime called Dino, and it was released some years ago. I'm getting curious if Dino is open source. Let's search for it. It's supposed to be better than okay. A modern runtime for JavaScript and TypeScript. Yeah, another thing that is that Node doesn't support TypeScript. If you don't know what TypeScript is, well, it's the typed version of JavaScript. Uh, Node doesn't support that. It's supposed to be better than Node because has the, the things that the creator didn't like about Node, it was fixed for Dino, right? But I haven't seen these a lot. Has a lot of implementations during the last years. Um, I haven't tried it to be honest, but apparently it is open source also. So that's a good point about it. You know, it's more features. Let's see if they have a how to contribute section. Okay, Um, my computer is getting slow. I just want to confirm everything's fine with the stream. Let me check. If no, let me know in the comments, please. Okay, I think everything's fine because I see no complaints here in the comments. So we see sorry, Dino, it's also open source. I was very nervous for the first contribution. Yeah, me too. To be honest, it's common. It happened to all of us. Uh, wow, this comment. Check bond.sh alternative to Node 5 times faster. I have seen this a lot. I have seen a lot of people talking about Bun. Even a coworker of me tell us that Bun is amazing. I haven't tried, but I will. Now, Monaco, you get my attention. Yeah, let's take a look at Bun to see if it is open source. And if it is open source, I promise I will take a look of it this week. This coming week because it's Friday now, so weekend is to get some rest. Let's see. Let's explore Bun. The Bun.sh. Open Whisper base. No. Symphony. No. Okay, let's try to Google it better. Bun.sh. A fast all-in-one JavaScript runtime. Does this support TypeScript just as Dino? Okay, take a look in comparison with Dove, in comparison with Dino, and here's one. Guidelines. Dino. Hmm. I want to see the contribution section. Aquí está. Contributing. Okay. Edit on GitHub? No. Okay, here's the GitHub. Okay, it is open source. Open source, how to contribute. Amazing. So I will take a look. Thanks. Thanks for sharing it. It is open source, yeah, and it does. I think you're meaning to the TypeScript support. Okay, cool. So you will see lots of amazing projects to take a look, but too much JavaScript, right? Many of you, well, you know, I am a JavaScript fan. I am a JavaScript developer, but many of you don't. So let's continue with the Apple Swift. Swift is the programming language. Again, short, simple. We got it. And this is open source. If you want to program for Mac, iOS, etc., well, you need to learn Swift, and it is open source. So, congratulations! I didn't expect that from Apple, to be honest. But big shout out. React. Okay, let's pass to the presentation again. And before that, let me make a pause. Mhm. I wanted you to realize how big these projects are. Like, as Kubrick says, I think Linux is the big one, like the most popular one. Everybody relates Linux with open source. But did you relate these other projects with open source? I bet you probably don't. because if you think of oh, another one I almost forgot to mention, Blender. Blender is amazing. If you have tried uh, 3D modeling, animation, creating scenes, you can do a lot of things with Blender, and it is open source. I have a colleague of mine that studies in the same university, that he's already working professionally, doing 3D modeling uh, with Blender. I have tried other softwares. I have tried the Autodesk ones. I have tried the another professional ones like 3D Max and that, and nothing compares to Blender. Blender just rocks completely. I really love it, and it is open source, so take it in mind. And that was the main idea of this section, that you can realize that an open source project can be so big, really, really big. And this other section, uh, let me now share the screen. The not so well known, it's for you to explore more projects, to see like, hey, I've heard of it. I didn't try it before, but why not? I can try it now. Like me with Bun, right? I heard of it. I've heard amazing things of it, but I haven't tried it. Now I will. uh, but to be fair, I should give a try to, right? I am going to make myself some time to explore both. But let's see our list. Electron, um, Flask, Jenkins, Django, Angular, React. This is just a little short list. Vue.js, uh, Matplotlib, TensorFlow, PyTorch. Let's see. Let's explore them. Let me share my screen. The okay, this one, allow, and React from Facebook again. You probably won't think it from Facebook. Well, now Meta, but yeah, React is open source. So the library for web native user interface. If you're not familiar with React, you probably don't do front end, and that's totally fine. That is why this framework is on this section, because many of these frameworks, many of these technologies are like for a specific group of developers. For example, React, these three first one, React, Angular, and Vue, are specific for front-end developers, right? And if you want to be more specific, I want you to take a look to Next.js. Next.js is another beautiful project. This is one of my favorites. I really enjoy developing in Next.js, and it's for React, and React it's for front end for JavaScript, right? So uh, a really strict path on that. Really, really, I would say a specific target, but yeah, it's another amazing project. Take a look to Next.js. Take a look to React. React, it's I will say the most popular framework for front end developers. If not, the other one is Angular. Angular rules in enterprise. I work with Angular on my job. I would say it has some things that I don't like. Yeah, but also React. To be fair, it is not bad. I just think it has opportunities to be better. And slap in the face for me, I can change it. I can improve Angular. I can do this and say, hey, maintainers, hey, Angular community, I don't like this. why don't we change it? Because it is open source. The other one who is open source, it's of course Vue.js, the third most popular front-end framework. So you can see the first, second, third, and probably the list continues on working with these frameworks that are open source completely, right? For example, a sponsor of Vue, it's Upright, which we collaborate in the Major League Hacking. What else we can see from this? The contribution. I really love when the projects do this, like the contribution panel, right? You see a big wall with all these icons, and you can search for yourself. I hope one day I can be in one of these. Uh, I haven't contributed to a big project like I want that. Well, I have contributed before to Angular, but translation. I don't know if they put you here for translation. Well, Angular doesn't have this, um, but I may be around here. Okay, I will check another day. Uh, what else? Jenkins. Jenkins. Okay, I include this because I was focusing on Python and JavaScript, and well, that's in me. That's because I tend to develop more in these languages. But if you're a Java user, if you tend to develop in other languages, just like Java, just like C++, in Ruby, I don't know, in many other languages, I want you to realize that there's a lot of other projects for you. Let me close these tabs. So, and just to mention some of the sorry, some of the Java open source projects. I have a list of here. Uh, Mockito, for example. Um, Realm is a big open source Java project. Jenkins, here it is. I was showing to you. Waba, Wawa, Moshi, it's another one. If you do C++, for example, there's Serenity. Serenity, it's a big C++ project. We talked before Mongo. Mongo, remember, it's built mainly on C. Sonar Source. Remember OBS? Well, OBS mainly it's in C. And here's another one that it's built mainly with C. Electron. Check. C++. And I think this is funny because, well, you don't know what is Electron, right? Electron, it's to build things with JavaScript that looks like if you build it in Java, but it's built with C++, right? So a lot of languages involved here. What I mean with like built in Java, well, Electron it's the framework for building desktop applications in JavaScript. For example, Visual Studio Code. And talking about Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio Code is also open source. Another thing I didn't expect from Microsoft, but very cool. So they even have this like, hey, we built this as the Microsoft maintainers together with their community, right? So if you want to make improvements to Visual Studio Code, or you're one of those people who complain about it, well, it's open source, so go and fix it. Uh, don't be like me with Angular, right? So take a look to this tool, Electron, very nice. Uh, and Visual Studio Code, again, very nice. Returning to the favorites, Django. Django. Remember the D as in the movie doesn't sound, so Django. And this project, it's this framework, it's a Python framework for building. I used it before to build backend, but I think it's bigger than that. Another one similar, it's Flask. So the Python here says micro framework because it's very light, and yeah, very 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 light to build web applications, right? Again, for backend services. If you're not familiar with these ones, I recommend you to check it, take a look at it, because well, they are very cool. And if you do Python, this will help you a lot, right? More with Python, PyTorch. Remember, well, we are in an era in which artificial intelligence is taking the main stage, right? So if you do want to use artificial intelligence, but you're not so experimented on it, well, great approaches are these two: PyTorch and TensorFlow, right? TensorFlow, it's the other library that allows you to use artificial intelligence, machine learning, and other types of artificial intelligence in your projects, just as a service, because you just need to get the information from an API. You don't need to, well, you can, but you don't need to train a big model, give data sets, and etc. It's just I tend to say this a lot, but it is like a service. You just need to understand the main idea, and you get the response from an API, and that's it. Like these kind of abstractions allowed us as humans to build more and build more efficiently. Because think, if you need to train, program, and apply machine learning or any kind of artificial intelligence models to your own projects, well, first, that's high prices for the computing. Then it's complicated in times, like you will spend a lot of time waiting for the response in processing, etc. and and with this one, again, it is a great abstraction. You just ask for something and get the response, applying all the layers of complexity of machine learning or artificial intelligence at all. So TensorFlow, PyTorch. If you didn't know these projects, take a look of this. Matplotlib, getting again with this science thing. We already talked about MATLAB before. I even give a workshop on MATLAB, and it is great. I assure you, MATLAB is a great tool. I won't say it is not, but it is private software. And if you want to use MATLAB, you will have to pay, or your institution, in this case, where we are studying. I'm as Instituto Politécnico Nacional student. My school gave us the license, right? In this case, I'm taking advantage of the license. I'm learning with MATLAB because again, it's great. But in some point, as a professional, I will have to take the choice of paying myself the license, asking my company, my boss, etc., of paying MATLAB, or I can take a look to an open source project as Python with an open source project as Matplotlib. I won't say which one it's better because I think there are no betters. I think one fits better for solutions, for specific solutions. So take a look to Matplotlib. Again, I try it. In personal, I really like this. It's really cool. Sometimes you like the easiness, I would say, of MATLAB, and for me, that I'm so experimented on that. That's why I choose it to run some technical sessions before. But I will give myself a try of trying to pass those codes to Matplotlib, so you can check it. And if your institution does not provide you with MATLAB, well, here's an alternative. Another popular one, and again, this could not be your case, but if you're familiar with Kubernetes, Docker, these types of things, you probably know these KAs are open source, right? I, as a frontend, uh, tried to implement this, uh, which is a really nice practice. I recommend you to. But I think for the moment, to me, that not fits exactly or perfectly what I try to do. So I will give another try in the future to Kubernetes. But again, great project. Uh, Tailwind, sorry, Tailwind is very good for quick development, and not only for quick development. Uh, it's very robust. I think from all the CSS libraries, frameworks, etc., I have tried before, Tailwind is one of my favorite. Another one, again, returning to the tools we can use, and not in a specific way. Puppeteer. Puppeteer, it's used for a lot of things, for scrapping, for testing. In my case, I try them for scrapping and for testing both, but I know they have more functionalities. And again, another great tool. If you haven't heard of it or you have but you haven't tried it, here's the repo. It's open source. You can contribute. So I recommend you, I encourage you to come here and check it out. And if you don't want to contribute, you don't necessarily feel that you have anything to contribute to this, that's okay. Just use the tool. Remember, that's a way to be part of the open source community. And well, yeah, I spoiled this one, VS Code, right? So I want to know more from you. I want to read some comments about any other tools you you normally use. Um, any other tools you think I am forgetting about? Because again, there are many open source projects, and these are some of the ones I tend to use the most in my developer. I probably I'm forgetting of many really big ones, of many incredible open source projects, but let me know. I see here some comments. Let me check them. Hmm. Hi. Just added a couple of organizations to our repo. All was free. Okay. Meanwhile, we were talking. You were sending me requests doing open source. That was cool. Amazing, Kubrick. Lol, technically VS Code itself as a distributed package is not quite fully open source. Give that VS Code developers at Microsoft don't seem to want to support 3D party distributions such as VS Codium, Code OS SS. They released it under known as Chromebed license, which means you can install extensions and plugins for the Microsoft's. Okay, I didn't know that. I I haven't contributed, but thanks for clarifying this. Uh, Remember, we were talking about the technical aspects here, so I think this is a great contribution. Just as same as we were talking about the difference between why Python it is open source and why JavaScript itself it is not open source, right? So um, Codium is the open source version of VS Code. Okay, thanks. Again, thanks for clarifying. It's the open source license version of many corporate companies greenwashing. Okay, I get it. Yeah, yeah, remember. So, although Microsoft loves to claim VS Code is open source, only VS Codium truly is. But its feature incomplete. In example, can easily use all the basic pre-installed MS developer extension without manually installing them from .b6 files. That includes GitHub Copilot extensions too, since they do not release them to OpenBSX, the micropress yet. Okay, you're so informed, and I love it. Thanks. Kudos to Fashik, who open or panorama in the VS Code terms. Another one, good contribution from Rubik, Apache, OpenOffice is open source. Uh, yeah, thanks. Yeah, thank you, sir, for contributing. Hi, Fashik, can you import all the integrations from the marketplace and paste the code into Codium? What top 10 expansion do you regularly use? Kubrick, yes, I'm aware of the workarounds, yet it doesn't always work out as easily, and it's definitely not supported and can result in. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I mean, like, I didn't know it wasn't fully open source. I'm guessing they have their reasons, but I will appreciate transparency on that. And as you mentioned, like being very clear on what it is open source and what it not, because I get the false illusion that it was fully open source. Um, Replying to Kubrick, for example, an extension I use commonly on um, Visual Studio Code, it's bracket colorize rainbow indentation. I am very visual, so I like to see where a block of code ends and where the other starts. What other else? Like the ones for the languages. I use one for the icons because I think default icons from VS Code are not good. And what other else I use? Copilot. Well, no, sorry, here. GitHub, right? This is a great chance for you to fix some issues. Yeah, that's the spirit of open source, right? So we're entering the last part of our session, which is uh, dramatic pause, which is the unknown projects that are huge, and I'm betting that you didn't know, just as me. I discovered these projects preparing for this session, and we are going to talk about System Design 101, Local Send, Strapi, SNet, and more. What I mean with and more, well, let me return to the browser. So here we are. Let's open the first one. And the first one is this. Oh no, Chrome browser. Is this System Design 101? You see this explanation, this about section, it's more big. In these kind of projects, we tend to see more like interaction, right, from the community, and they focus on you to get the idea of the project because they don't need to put just two lines and you get the main idea, just as we see with Swift, with Python, that hey, it's Python, you know it. Well, here we need to explain, more. So here we said explain complex system using visual and simple terms, help you prepare for design system interviews. Uh, and here we can see the contributors are six. I and why I include this particular repository, why I include this particular project. Well, I see that it has so many stars, so many people watching, and so many forks. And another reason I include this, it's because it is the number one trending repository on GitHub this weekend. How you can find out this? Well, you go to github.com/trending, and you will see the same. Let me do it. github.com/trending, and you will see this system design 4,000 stars just today. What other projects we have here on trending? The other one I mentioned, LocalSend. LocalSend is an alternative, cross-platform alternative, sorry, to AirDrop. I would love to see this because having the opportunity to send something from your iPhone to a Windows computer, I think is game changing. Uh, and I have seen it. I have experienced it. I tend to work with a Mac OS system, but for personal purposes, for engineering student purposes, I need to work with Windows, and it's kind of frustrating try to send things because when you're in the Mac environment, you just to hit two buttons, two clicks, and everything's fine. And once I have my iPhone and I need to send something to the Windows computer, I don't know. I do things like sending it to WhatsApp or Telegram or uploading it to my drive or something that it's you need to triangulate the information. It is not direct communication, and I don't like it. So Lokenso, it is an open source alternative, an open source proposal for that. It's make in Dart, which is one of the most popular recent languages. I seen so much with Dart that it's very cool. What else? Well, here another project I mentioned that I want you to check. Uh, and let's see, a trending it's Node. So even Dino is more popular. Sorry, no. Even Dino claims to be better, not only itself, but the creator claim it to be better than Node, and Bon now 5 times faster. Well, the trending one steals Node, and well, only 5 stars today, but a lot of stars in the big picture, right? The Strappy, this is the one. Well, Strappy is the leading open source headless CMS It's fully on JavaScript and TypeScript, and it's customizable for developers. So if I have figured this one when I started working, I could save tons of days of developing. I even say even a year of work from building this from scratch, and it doesn't have anything in bad. Like, hey, you just being how to say it. Lazy. You didn't want to build it. Well, that's the main idea. Being lazy, taking advantage of the tools we have, taking advantage of these, for example, these CMS that I started building from scratch, and now I know it is an open source alternative that it's fully customizable that I can use. And well, that just blow my mind. So the CMS software are very common. Probably in your works, you will be asked to code something like this at some point. So remember Strappy. Remember it is open source, and remember it is customizable. What else? What other else we talk about? Snapped, right? This one. Snapped is an end-to-end speech processing toolkit. I have tried these kind of technologies before, closed software only, and they work really fine. I would like to try this and see how it is. Like, what's the performance of this speech processing toolkit? So I just found this very interesting. That's why I add it to the list. That's why I wanted you to see it. Plus, it's Python, Shell, etc. So very easy to contribute in case you want. And if you remember, I talked you about the well. I just put more, and that was not just lazy writing. I really mean it. Like projects that you don't know that are really cool and that are open source are thousands. Just to say, not yeah, thousands. Um, I talk about some of the ones I found more interesting here on the trendings for GitHub. But another way you can explore that it's just typing best open source projects on your on Google, right? And you probably won't find the like the underground ones, underground ones. Sorry, but you can find very interesting ones, and there are even numerous articles in Medium. I found one article here, for example, talking about the top 10 open source project from GitHub 2023, right? And they have alternative for ChatGPT. They have tool analysis. They have SEO positionable software. They have alternatives uh, to whatever software you want. They have even a dashboard, an open source dashboard. So really cool projects, really cool and not known projects here. So I am going to return to the comments to read some of them. Uh, Thanks for sharing your extensions. Oh yeah, it's a pleasure. Yes, I've already been attempting to do so and show example. Here are the steps. Just jumping through that I found to install GitHub Copilot Chat on VS Codium with Arc Linux man base Manjaro. Okay. GitHub it's an open source, ready to code, cloud development environments. Really nice comment here. Alberto, it seems that the trending list is location based as I'm on the payment list on the side seen from your leads, but it's nice to know the trending features. Okay, so it's nice to know that it's location based. I didn't know that. Uh, so you can share. That's amazing because you can share not only so globally the most trending repositories one. So, but you can share with me, for example, that I am in Mexico. I don't know where are you located. Uh, Share with us your top three. And I encourage you all from here in the comments that share with us the top three of your GitHub trending, so you can explore more projects, right? Or even if you have more time, share. I'm in. uh, Really cool. Thanks for watching me. If you have more time, go to your trending in GitHub and explore and uh, share the three that you like the most, right? Here on the comments. If you don't have time to do it now because we are finishing this session, go to Discord and share it with here the MLH community. Feel free to share whatever you want, and it is just for you to here in question and answer section. So, any question, I will try to answer. Let me know how many times you need to pay, give data usage for proprietary software to assist with your flow. Okay. Uh-huh. So, um, I will. I will wait some time to see if you have any question here in the comments. Meanwhile, let me say to you, thanks. Thanks for listening to me. Thanks for being here. Um, Thanks for give me some of your time. I really hope you get from this session some great projects that you can use, and after that, start coding. Joined back, had to move out for about 30 minutes. Don't worry, you can always rewatch the transmission and you can see what you missed. Well, yeah, but rather not reward MS for the gatekeeping and creating artificial limitations. Maybe I should try switching to JetBrains or maybe go back to Sublime Text or just plain Beam. Between those three options, I will choose Beam to be honest. Actually, I want to try more Neo Beam. I'm a normal Beam user. I tried to flavor it a little bit, but some of my coworkers are using now NeoBeam. Very styled. One even it is like looking at a VS Code, and I'm like, hey, that just not feels like Beam now. Okay, but yeah, go with Beam from that list. If not, stay with Visual Studio Code. It's great. Thanks for sharing. Project which is are great. I can think of any open source project. Okay, maybe. Well, no, but I know a program. Actually, two programs that you can find interesting. First one, the fellowships, the open source track. It's open source contributions paid, and the other one is special for open source contributions, the octernships. And as a campus expert, I encourage you to go check the octernships. And there are really cool projects and well paid. So I think it's okay. That's cool. Thanks for sharing. Fashik, use Notepad or Nano with the. Okay. Maybe in React Native. I don't think React or React Native projects are going to pay you, to be honest. Many years ago, I used Emacs, but being start. Okay. I missed the stream. Can you share the links for the two you just told? Yeah, I can share the link for the trendings. Or you mean like the Octernship? You just need to type on Google Octernship, and that's it. The other one is the MLH Fellowship uh, in the abstract. MX related repetitive strain injury. I don't know. So yeah, I think that's it. That's it for me. I really hope you enjoy these sessions as much as I do. Thanks. I'll see you on our next Global Hack Week because I don't have more sessions for this one. But stay tuned. We are having more sessions today and tomorrow, and I think I don't know where this when ends, but stay tuned. Yes, we enjoy. That makes my day. So see you. Bye bye.